Hey everyone, Caitlin Lee here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel and thank you so much for being here with me today. So grateful to be here with you, sharing this lovely space. First, I wanted to share just a brief poem from my book, Ineffable, which is going to be re-released here in a few weeks. And then we'll dive into this week's topic. So, a river of reverence stretches my heart into the vastness of the ineffable. Here you and I drift away, dancing as one. All right, thank you. So for today, I kind of wanted to do just a short, brief video talking about consciousness and coinciding with, David R. Hawkinson's work on the linear scale of consciousness. And I feel like I've been sitting with this topic for a little bit just because, we all are trying to evolve and we're all talking about the ascension process and evolving and healing and this and that. But I, from the works and the readings that I've done with Hawkins and from my own integration and healing process and from my own learning and experiences in life, I've learned that everything is perfect, all is perfect. The only thing that's standing in between that perfection is the distortion or that perception that is blocking that perfection. So it's not necessarily that we are not perfect, it's just the perception, which it's like that blocks that perfection that exists ubiquitously or that is omnipresent. So I would like to dive into the perfection of existence through jumping into the levels of consciousness, and that all levels of consciousness are perfect. They're all beautiful and they all impact one another. David R. Hawkins created that level of consciousness, and I believe it's shame or grief all the way at the bottom, which calibrates significantly lower than, let's say, anger or sadness or pride or peace or joy or harmony. And a lot of people might look at it and say, I want to feel joyful, or I want to be this or that, which is great. I grew up, and during my healing journey, I've tried to just be in a certain space where it's like, oh, I can only be joyful. Otherwise it's going to lower my vibration. But in actuality, we cannot suppress those lower levels of consciousness. They're all needed and they all are part of the one, the perfection of this existence. So shame is no better or worse than enlightenment or peace or joy. Pride is no more or no less. They're all on a spectrum. And they're all perfect and they're all beautiful and they're all part of the one and enveloped by this oneness and the creation of oneness and consciousness. So this video is merely to clarify that whatever level of consciousness that you are at, whatever you're vibrating at, everything has consciousness. I would like to reiterate that based off my own experience and just seeing the world evolve, and from reading and integrating, that it does not matter what level of conscious you are at, it is perfect, and that you are making a difference no matter what. And there is no hierarchy. He created in a linear format so people can understand it, especially for the people who need logic and reason. But it's really non-linear and very subjective. So all consciousness, whether it's grief, shame, bliss, joy, is all part of the perfection of existence, and all has a ripple impact on one another. So, if we see someone who's operating out of anger and we say, oh, that's bad, they're, this or that, it's not necessarily good or bad. It's a spectrum, and that's where they're operating at, and that's where their truth is at that given moment of time. So if they're operating out of anger and that's their level of consciousness, that is appropriate for that level of awareness and consciousness. For someone who's operating at joy to be in the energy of anger, that would be a completely different story. So from every level of consciousness and every space you're in, you're going to have a different perspective and view life from a completely different lens, but it doesn't make it better or worse. It's just, that's the perception or the the lens of truth that you're able to filter through, and it doesn't make one better or worse or good or bad. They're all perfect, and they're all part of the oneness of, you know, all that is. So, and this is a near and dear topic to me, because I used to worry, the energy of worry of, oh, you know, I can't be in the energy of anger all the time, or grief, because I spent a lot of energy and time in my life in grief, and thinking, oh, that's going to lower my vibration. But what actually, it allows you to be human, and it allows you to evolve more rapidly. And maybe not the word rapidly, but it allows you to evolve, because if we cannot bypass one, you know, we can't go, oh, I'm going to just skip grief and I'm going to skip shame and all of these. Like, consciousness and creation is all of it. You know, it's not just joy, peace, and harmony. It's everything. It's an all-inclusive. It's the entire party, and everyone is welcome. So I really do want to commend and appreciate every level of consciousness and every being on this planet and everything that ever existed, because we are all playing a part in this whole. We are all making a contribution, whether you are, you know, consciously at this level or this level, it does not matter. We're all helping one another. You know, the person who might be vibrating at the level of anger might empower someone who's vibrating at the level of acceptance to step more into their power, and vice versa. So we don't know how each of these levels of consciousness actually shape or impact one another, but they're all part of creation, and they're all perfect. So I just wanted to step in today and say thank you all for being, and that all is perfect and all is divine, even if sometimes we cannot see that. Sometimes, you know, there's a filter here. It's hard to see beyond that, but really all is perfect, all is divine. It doesn't matter what level of consciousness you're at. We're all making a difference, and we're all impacting the one. So let's not worry about the ascension process or what you're calibrating at or what level you're at, for all is perfect and all is divine, and we are all one. So yeah, that was my biggest meditation for this week. Was I wanted to talk on the topic of consciousness and express that we are all perfect, no matter what level of consciousness we're at. And say thank you to everyone for being, and for sharing your gift of being with everyone, and whatever lens of truth that you're looking for. And we're all on this journey together. So thank you, and have a blessed day, beloveds.